Every 2 hours in Northern Ireland, a sexual offence is reported. This means 12 people every day in our society become victims of sexual violence. Isn't this a truly horrifying statistic? Action must be taken now to effectively prevent and reduce the levels of sexual violence against females in Northern Ireland. There are 3 ways in which we can do this: through reducing stigma, erasing the blame culture, and improving education. Reducing the stigma can only be achieved through improving awareness. Northern Ireland is shocking when it comes to talking about sexual violence. I think we can all agree it's quite a sensitive topic which can be difficult to discuss. However, it is vital that we change this mindset now before the situation completely spirals out of control. We cannot tackle sexual violence if those impacted feel unable to speak up or report their experiences. It takes courage. However, the harsh reality is, if survivors remain silent, then another female will likely suffer the abuse too. A study by the National Sexual Assault Line shows that nearly half of all alleged perpetrators have at least one prior conviction. You may be asking yourself, why do we struggle with breaking the stigma around sexual violence? The main reasons are due to fears of not being believed and fears of judgment from family and friends. The Northern Irish society, religious and cultural beliefs often stigmatise sex, especially before marriage. This means if a woman finds herself in this terrible situation, she may feel unable to report and get help and possibly downplay the situation or maybe even completely ignore it. We cannot let this continue. Every woman who has been harmed deserves the support, justice, and compassion to ensure she has their best recovery possible from this devastating event. Nexus is a locally based organisation which aims to support individuals who have suffered from sexual and abusive relationships. Nexus say between 2023 and 2024, approximately 4,090 sexual offences were reported to the PSNI. Just think about how many other cases went unnoticed too, due to fears of society's opinions and judgments. I'm sure every one of you sitting in the Stormont Senate this evening has heard at least one of the following excuses for sexual violence against girls. If a woman is drunk, well, it's her own fault. She should have been keeping herself safe. If a woman is wearing revealing clothes, well, she's just asking for it. Women shouldn't go out at night alone because they're just increasing their risk of being sexually abused. How can we eliminate the stigma from our society if we don't cancel out this jarring blame culture too? Disturbingly, only 1 in 10 rapes reported are committed by strangers. This means the majority are committed by someone the survivor personally knows. She may share a home with him, be in the same friendship group, or the perpetrator could be a family friend. Why didn't I just say no? And it's too difficult to prove, are questions women constantly ask themselves. Evidence shows that women often don't speak out about sexual violence because they feel responsible. Why? Because society makes them feel that it's their fault. But it's not. Women are often frightened to report cases because perhaps they rely on their abusive partner financially, don't want to shatter relationships within their families. But a huge concern is others' judgments and opinions. In 2048, I want my daughter to navigate life without fear. This current level of sexual violence cannot continue. The solution lies in speaking up, reporting, and challenging others' negative attitudes. Don't tolerate objectifying jokes about women. Challenge them and prioritise respect. To make real change, we must stop undermining the severity of sexual violence and we must reject attitudes which defend perpetrators. The issue of sexual violence in Northern Ireland can only be addressed through early education. Girls must understand that sexual violence is never acceptable and where and how they can access support if needed. Boys need to be taught values such as respect towards women and compassion, along with gender equality and empathy. All children need to understand the signs of an unhealthy relationship and how to exit one safely. While schools are currently teaching relationship and sex education, the lack of standardisation means that critical topics like consent are overlooked. Teaching the power of respecting and saying the word no is essential for all. It's time that we raise the standards of relationship and sex education across Northern Ireland to protect children and teach them valuable life skills. I hope the Education Department take my views forward. I will not continue to live in a society where sexual violence is tolerated. Today, I have outlined a number of ways which we can collaboratively eliminate sexual violence from the lives of females in Northern Ireland. We must speak up and take a stand. We must break the silence. Without a combined effort and a holistic approach, violence against women and girls will never end.